By his own accounts, my father was not a great student in high school. Like a lot of youth, he was aimless. He didn't know what to do with himself after high school. He was a bit of a troublemaker. His dad, my grandfather, had been an airplane mechanic for the Army. He may have nudged my father into service, but ultimately it was his choice to serve. The early 70s was a time of upheaval and disillusionment. I don't need to give you a history lesson. War was ongoing in Vietnam, American influence spread across Asia. The US had air bases and troops stationed in Taiwan. My dad was shipped out here. He wasn't really a soldier. He was a medic in the US Air Force. He died 6 years ago this December. Sometimes it feels like he's still here, and sometimes it feels like he just died yesterday, and sometimes it feels like he never existed at all. Time, death, memories, they all seem to be impossible parts of the human experience to understand. My dad didn't talk about his military experience very much. I'm sure he was proud of his service, but I don't think he felt like he was doing anything of great value in serving American military interests in Asia. I think that he joined for two reasons. One, to find some direction or purpose in life, and two, to please his father. I can't speak for him. He's no longer here. It's just the feeling that I got from him. Most of his stories of his time in the military, they weren't really about the military. They were about Taiwan, or boot camp, but we can talk about boot camp another time. He loved Taiwan. When I first left for China 12 years ago, my dad taught me a few Chinese words that he still remembered. 我爱你, which means I love you, and 鸡翅, which means chicken wings. I think this perfectly illustrates who he was and what he loved about Taiwan and about life. He had a local girlfriend, and he loved the local Taiwanese food. He also loved Sun Moon Lake. He always told me, Eric, you need to go to Sun Moon Lake. I finally took his advice. I'm here, trying to feel something. Some connection with my father, something that can transcend time and space and even death. His memories of this place, they died with him. I guess I'll never really know why he loved it so much, or why he had such great memories here. Maybe it was his local girlfriend that took him here on a romantic escape. He never said. All he ever told me was that it was special and that I should visit. As I sit here on the banks of the lake, I know that he was right. It is beautiful, and I'm glad that I've finally chosen to make this trip. But there must be a better way to keep the memories that you have of a person alive than to travel to the same places they told you that they loved while they were alive. But it's hard. I still think about my dad every day. Before my dad died, I'd watch stories on TV, and I'd see people who lost loved ones years before, who claim that they still think about that person that they lost every single day. I could never believe it. Life goes on, I thought. Time will cause feelings to fade. But it's true. I still think about my father every single day. The longer he is gone, the more I miss him, not less. My dad was here at Sun Moon Lake when he was about 20 years old. Approximately 20 years later, around the same age that I am now, he was diagnosed with a disease that would eventually take his life a further 20 or so years later. The numbers aren't exact, but it doesn't really matter. It's close enough that it makes me pause and reflect. I wish that I had some profound words to end this with. I wish that I had a pearl of wisdom about the meaning of life, or death for that matter, about fatherhood, about being a son, about legacy. Unfortunately, I have none of that. What is legacy anyway? What did my father leave behind? Is it me, my brother, genes? My brother has kids. He's passing down the family bloodline, ensuring that we will continue for at least one future generation. I haven't done that yet and probably never will. But legacy and my father is more than just his offspring. His life was rich with experiences, and I'm grateful every day to have both memories and some shared experiences, even if they are separated by 50 years. I just wish that I knew even a tiny bit more of him, and of his love for this place, for Sun Moon Lake. I sit beside the lake today, right now, watching the setting sun, cold beer in hand. I wish I knew who he came with, what he did, where he went. Did he eat ji chi? Did he tell his girlfriend, 我爱你? Or did he come alone? Did he sit by the water, stare towards the horizon, and reflect on his life, his own father, or what direction his future held? Am I a shadow of my father, or a reflection of him? Most of all, I just wish my dad could have made it out here one more time. I know that he'd have been happy, and I would have been happy too.